Hey everybody, welcome back to Living Between Paychecks Kitchen. I'm Oz, Jackie Later in Lake Jackson, and he's behind the camera. This one's going to take a little while, even though I'm going to do the intros and outros in my father cosplay here. So it's going to take a little bit. But it's our second of our Christmas specials. We're doing mincemeat pie that has no meat in it, so go figure. Before we get into it, be sure to like, share, subscribe, do all the little YouTube things, ring the notification bell down in that corner, get these as close to Tuesdays and Fridays as we can. And there's a link down the doobly-doo for our merch, which I'm not wearing, but it's really cool. We're a small business. We very much appreciate it. And let's just get into it before my battery dies. All right, so there's a lot of stuff. So we're going to break it down by the small sections here, okay? So first thing is going to fruits. You want 2 Granny Smith or tart green apples if you can find them. I just got 2 regular ones. You're going to need some orange zest. So just get you an orange with some nice skin. Be sure to wash it. Take the stickers off, okay? You're going to need some candied cherries. I got these just in the holiday fruit section. A lot of this is dried fruit. You're going to need some raisins, and then some golden raisins, and then they ask you for currants, which are a different kind of raisin, but I can't find them in this country, apparently. So I was going to replace them with some golden raisins, but I can't. So I'm going to use some mango because it's my dessert, and I feel like doing it that way. So, yeah. You're going to want some dried cranberries. You can get the crazy ones that are already cut up, which is pretty nice. You want some figs, just reminded me of my old buddy, my monkey. And then some apricots. You're going to need some dried apricots and some dried cherries. This is a lot of fruit. That's where it gets the mincemeat idea from, I guess. You're going to need some liquids. You're going to need some fresh orange juice, or as fresh as you can get it. You're going to some dark rum. You're going to need a cup of it, which is about 5 of these, or 4 3/4 of these. You're going to want some brandy. You only need very little. So I got this for like $6, whatever. And you're going to want some cider. I couldn't find any regular cider, but I found some Martinelli's sparkling cider. Does not have to be sparkling, but Martinelli's is always the best cider out there. Not sponsored, just a big fan. So that's the thing. Spices. You want to start with allspice. Sorry about the focus on this. It is all over the place. So you're going to need some allspice. You're going to need some ginger, some ground ginger, please. All right, as soon as I can get the thing here. So you're going to need some ground cloves as well, not whole cloves. You're going to need some ground cinnamon. Everything's just in the dirt, apparently, ground cinnamon. And ground nutmeg. Also some salt, kosher salt. Either way, it's up to you. And some butter. You're going to need about half a stick of butter and some dark brown sugar if you can get it. It's got to be ground too. Yeah. You're going to get all that, and we're going to put this together. You're going to need some pie crusts. This is made enough for at least 2 pies, so I got 2 sets of the thing, and then some pie tins or pie plates to cook them in. I just got these for like $3. It was like 3 of them per. So apples, take the stickers off, wash them, get that wax off of them first, and then we're gonna core them and then peel them first. Get you just a regular potato peeler. Whoop, pulls it off. If you have any small critters around, those work. Oh, I'm watching Jay Draper break down how accurate the Muppet Christmas Carol is, which I'm a giant fan of that. That's just something to listen to while I'm doing this. But then you want to, after peeled, cut them in half. Take out the cores. I use a spoon because I don't have an apple core because I'm not in that tax bracket. So just rip out the seeds and stuff in the middle out of both your apples there. You're good. Lay them down. We're going to get you a nice sharp knife. Shout out to Andy, who's behind the camera. Thank you very much. Come in here. You're going to cut them and cut them the other way. I guess that's a rough chop. It's not really a dice. But just cut those and put them in a bowl, center to the side. 1 cup of the candied cherries. So I don't like just leaving them in there whole, so I'm going to take a knife and try to cut them as I can. These are sticky, and it makes a mess, and I should not have done these first. But I'm cutting them up anyway, so be very, very careful. Put them in your bowl when you can. You're going to need like a decent-sized bowl just to hold them, or a bunch of regular bowls or a big plate until you put it into a pot, or you can just put it in the pot right away. Go ahead and cut these up best you can. It's, like I said, it's a sticky mess. The dried apricots, the same thing. Apricots, however, it's like apricots. Remind me of my monkeys. Just take these, and again, the apricots and stuff, you want half a cup, okay? 1 cup of the candied cherries, but only half a cup of the dried apricots. Cut those down because I don't want big chunks of the apricots in there. Same thing with the dried cherries. 1/2 cup of those. Again, I cut those down just because it makes it easier to cook and to serve with you. Okay, cranberries already. You get these; they're already cut down, so you don't have to chop them up. But if they're whole, go ahead and cut those down. Again, 1/2 cup of the dried cranberries as well. I don't have. I got figs. Figs work really well, but they are ginormous. Again, these really need to be cut. It really reminds me of sitting around with my spider monkey Coco, who was a fanatic for figs. There was a fig tree that grew near his enclosure, and I'd go pick a bunch, and we'd sit around and munch figs, me and my buddy, my monkey growing up. But yeah, cut those up. Again, 1/2 cup of those. Put those in there. Raisins as well. There is a lot of this. It's half cup of the golden raisins, half cup of the regular raisins. Again, couldn't find the currants. I was going to double up on the golden raisins, but that's too much. So I just figured I'd put in some dried mango because, like I said, it's my recipe, and I couldn't find currants here. This looks like leather. It looks like dried fish, but it is dried mango. Get you a nice sharp knife, work on it, and get it cut and put it in there. It tastes really good. It's really worth it. Now, the orange zest, you just get a grater. You're going to need 1 tablespoon of this. So get your orange after you've cleaned it and just grate it, man. It took the skin off of just one good-sized orange to get the tablespoon of the orange zest. So get you a decent-sized pot. We're going to put all of this in here, all the fruit and everything we just cut up, whatever. Make sure to get all of it and take it and put it in your pot. Now, your cider, you want to get that in there. How much of the cider do we do? Just 1 cup of the cider? Yeah. 1 cup of the cider, just go ahead and throw that in there. 1 cup apple cider, doesn't have to be the sparkling stuff. It's just, that's the only thing I could find right now because it's sold out. Because Christmas time, when you cook it, it takes away the carbonation. But it's Martinelli, so it's absolutely amazing. So you get that, just the 1 cup of apple cider, just put that right in the top of there. Your brown sugar, you want 2/3 of a cup of brown sugar. Put that in there, and then your orange juice. Ooh, that was a lot of orange. It's a half a cup of orange juice. Now just take that, and I put it on my brown sugar because it helped break it down really well. Don't have to. It looks cool that way. The butter you want to put in there, you're going to need to cut it up while you can. It's only a 1/4 cup. So it's half a stick of butter. It shows it on the side of the paperwork. It makes it a lot easier to do it that way. But cut it up, put it in there, break it down. Now your rum, you need a cup of the dark rum, which is kind of a thing. It's 4 3/4 of the little airplane bottles of dark rum. I'm highly allergic to it, which is absolutely horrible. So if you saw it on TikTok, you know that this was breaking me out and doing horrible things. Half a teaspoon of your allspice. You want to put that in there. And then cinnamon and ginger all need to be the half, okay? So just as close as you can, measure it out and put it in here. Apparently, according to the recipe, you can do this up to 3 months in advance. This stuff holds up really well. And then there's your ginger. Those are all half teaspoons, allspice, cinnamon, and ginger. Put those in there. And then the 1/4 teaspoon is nutmeg, cloves, and then salt. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to overpower it. Nutmeg and cloves can both do that really well, so be very, very careful. Be sure to use the ground cloves. Don't use the whole cloves. Use those for your oranges and stuff for when you go out to fair. Oi, oi. And a 1/4 teaspoon of your salt or kosher salt, and put that in there as well. Now we're going to put this on like a medium heat. Okay. Oh, yeah, this is a trick. Use your measuring spoon to get in here, and it gets all the extra stuff off the spoon. Get that nice and stirred. We're going to put it in here on low to medium low, like it's on a 2 or 3 out of our 9 is what it goes up to let it simmer. It's supposed to take about 30 minutes. It takes about 45 minutes for me to simmer this down to get most of this cooked off. Just give it a nice stir every now and then. Make sure it gets all down in there. You're trying to cook it down to where it's a little thick. This does cook off all the alcohol, and if somebody like me is highly allergic, that means it puts all that alcohol in the air, and it made it hard to breathe. My eyes swelled up, and it was horrible, and almost died. But just be sure this is nice, and go paint something while you're waiting. This is simmering down. This is about at the 30-minute mark here, 35 minutes. You can see how thick it's starting to be. Once it gets down to where the fruit's nice and cooked, everything's hydrated, and most of its the liquids are gone after, like I said, 35 minutes. Kill the heat, set it aside. The rest of the heat will thicken this up. Now you want to let it sit for 24 to 48 hours before you put it in the pie. But the recipe said you can also do this 3 months in advance and let the booze soak into this stuff. So I just covered it, left it in the fridge for 2 days, 48 hours. This is what we got. This is very thick. This is very much a pie filling. This works out really well. Okay. So for each pie, you want to do about 2 cups of this. And so you take it, put it in a bowl by itself. That way you can mix the brandy in. Okay, so you get 2 cups of the mix that you've had sitting. Put it over here. And then a tablespoon of the brandy. Now this is flammable. Don't let it be around fires, open flames. And it's $7 brandy, so I probably wouldn't leave it in direct sunlight or whatever. So just put your brandy directly in here. Remember, this is a flaming spirit. It is very strong. Give it a stir. Let it soak while you're doing the rest of the pie prep here. So just get it stirred around and then set it to the side. The pie, we're going to use the pre-made pie crust, the pie plates here. So these are super simple. We're going to get that done. Get your pie crust out. You might want to let them get room temperature, makes them easier to handle, less likely to stick to each other and tear. This first one was not. It was still straight out of the refrigerator. You don't want it to freeze. You just want it in the fridge. So gently roll this out as best you can. See the edge starts tearing a little bit here? Just because my hand's in the way. Just a little bit of water and press it together. It goes right back together, so it's not a big problem. It's going to overlap the sides. Just make sure it's just over to the edge of it because we're going to cut off all the extra. Put that in there. Go ahead and get your filling and just set it right in there. Now, at 2 cups per, this is going to make 2 pies. But it didn't quite fill it all the way to the top. So, 2 cups is all right, but you want to kind of go closer to the edge. I put about another half cup in there and kind of fishing it out. Now, you get your other crust. Before you do the top, you want to preheat your oven. Go ahead and preheat your oven up to 400. 400, right? Let that preheat up. And let that do it while you're doing the rest of this, okay? It preheats relatively quick most places. So you pull out the other crust, and if you don't want to be fancy, you can just roll it across the top, and you are ready to go. You can take it and cut it into long strips and make lattice out of it. We've done that in different videos. You want me to come back and just do that sometime, I will. But we are already rocking well over time here. So just put it around, press it to the edges, and you're fine. Or, like even if you get any cracks like that, just kind of push it around. Mush it to the side, get you a fork, and then press the edges together with a fork. It gives you that weird texture around the edge, like, ooh, that's super fancy. And then anything that's hanging off, gets you a knife and just run around that pie plate, and it cuts off that extra stuff, so you don't have anything flying over. I put a couple of slits in it, mostly because it looks like an old cartoon pie, whatever. Now, this one I did lattice work, that one I did the regular ones. Like I said, I'll show you how to do that, but it's just a simple weave with a cut up top. So this one's just optional. I always do this with my pies. Melt a little butter, brush it on, and then sprinkle some sugar on top of it. It gives especially the pre-made crust a little more flavor than just, hey, here's some bread. It gives something the sugar to stick to, and it gives a little more of that butter flavor to the top, which is always helpful. So I do both of these, put them in here at 400 degrees, and put them in right at 30 minutes or until they get golden brown. And at 30 minutes, the edges were getting brown, but the middle was not. You can kind of see it's still cooked. There's a lot of liquid or moisture there in the middle, so you got to be careful. So I put it in for another 15 to 20 minutes. See where it's nice and brown, and it's getting brown in the middle. The camera doesn't really do it justice, but it looks really well. But this is both of these. You can hear Andy laughing at me. I'm burning shit out of myself here in a second. But the edge kind of popped up where I ran them together. Remember, it just came out of the oven. Actually, it's hot. So definitely let it cool and then slice this up and you're ready to go. Now remember, this has alcohol in it, so be very careful. A lot of it is cooked off, so you don't have to worry about having to drive heavy equipment afterwards, but just something to think about. Again, this is something very neat. Again, I couldn't find currants. I feel very bad. I'll have to import them. This went well over our budget, especially with like the booze and stuff that go into it. So again, this is our Christmas special. You very much got to try it. They should hold up for a day or two. You got to keep it sealed up, put it in the fridge. It'll last for a little longer than that, but hopefully you'll eat it faster. It is not a fruit cake. Maybe we'll do a fruit cake next year, but this is a mincemeat pie coming from somebody in Texas. So you're just lucky it doesn't have jalapeno in it. So give this a try. Let me know. I will happily come back to it. I was just happy to finally have this under my belt, that I tried it, that I cooked it, that I made it, and that people enjoyed it. So that's very cool. Again, shout out Andy for taste testing with me, even though he said it tastes like a hot lemon. But apologies for almost dying by cooking rum in my house, something I'm highly allergic to. So yeah, Merry Christmas. And there you have it, folks. Traditional, non-traditional mincemeat pie is a Christmas special. If you do it differently, you want to see us do it differently, let me know. Put it down in the comments. That's what they're there for. You can also find us on all the social medias, Facebook, Pinterest, Patreon, where all those are in between Paycheck's Kitchen. You can also find us on Instagram, in between. I had to short it down. My battery's dying, and I really got to get this up to date. So that's the thing. If not, I will see y'all next time. Y'all can find me, Osway Nerdy, on all of those under Osway Nerdy, including Twitter and over on TikTok. Usually just talking nerd stuff. And I will see y'all next time. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever makes you happy, and y'all be safe.